House Republicans want to know, did Attorney General Eric Holder mislead, even lie, to Congress? Lawmakers have lots of questions about the Attorney General's claim that he was unaware of the potential prosecution of the press. And Attorney General Holder is not the only one getting hit with questions on the topic. Today, the White House press corps hammering Press Secretary Jay Carney.
Are you satisfied, is this White House satisfied, with the responsiveness of people it sends out to testify about matters of congressional interest?
Well, that's a broad question, but the answer is yes. And if it's specific to this matter, the answer is yes.
But Jay, specifically, even if the Attorney General ruled out that he was going to prosecute Rosen, on the question of a potential prosecution, he said, quote, "This is not something I've ever been involved in, heard of." We know he was involved in it, at the very least. That's the question. Was he not telling the truth on that point? He was involved in it.
Involved in what?
He signed off on the search warrant. Maybe he was an unindicted code. Are you not involved after signing off on the search warrant?
Again, I would refer you to the Justice Department. But you guys are conflating, you know, the subpoena with prosecution, and I think that it is. Again, I would point you to what the Attorney General said.
But it is a technical accuracy you're holding on to.
I'm not. I'm saying that based on what I've seen in published reports and what the Attorney General said, I don't see the conflict. But I would refer you to the Justice Department.
House Judiciary Committee member Congressman Ron DeSantis joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Good evening.
I see that a letter has gone out under the signature of Congressman James Sensenbrenner and Bob Goodlatte to the Attorney General tonight or today, and they want to know by June 5th a number of answers to questions, including how he can claim to have never been involved in the potential prosecution of a member of the media, but he admittedly was involved in discussions regarding Mr. Rosen's emails. Are you familiar with this letter to the Justice Department? I mean, to the Attorney General?
I am. I've read it.
All right. It says that he has to respond by June 5th. What happens if the Attorney General doesn't?
Well, I think that'll be up to the President to make a determination about whether this Attorney General should still be serving. But the bottom line with his testimony before our committee was he was asked by a Democrat, a friendly Democrat, you know, have you ever targeted members of the press for prosecution? He said, that's nothing I've ever heard of, been involved with. In fact, quite the opposite. He didn't think that that was appropriate. And we didn't know at the time about the James Rosen search warrant. So that came out a few days later, and it turns out not only was he involved with it, he actually approved the search warrant that listed Mr. Rosen as at least an aider or co-conspirator. So there's a tension between what he told the committee and his actions in that case. And to me, I think they're irreconcilable. And I think his position as Attorney General is tenuous.
All right. Is there a difference between misleading and lying?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's possible that he actually never really believed that Rosen was a co-conspirator. In other words, he may have told the committee the truth, that he honestly didn't think that. But what about the search warrant that they used and put in front of a judge where they represented that? So maybe the misleading wasn't in front of our committee. Maybe it was actually in court documents. But you got to ask yourself, do you want an Attorney General who's willing to sign off on those things? Very sensitive matter, knowing that what was there wasn't true.
All right, what I'm trying to get at, though, is that some people have said, some members of Congress have made the suggestion that he lied. Some have said that he misled. And I wondered if, in your mind, there is a difference.
Well, I think that there can be. I mean, a lot of it goes to your intent. In other words, people have asked if he committed perjury. You're a lawyer, Greta. You know.
Well, no, that
you
has a
actually
specific.
have to prove.
I mean, that has a specific definition. It has to be material. But I'm just, you know, I mean, that is a specific legal definition. But I'm just curious is that if you would find it, you know, one is worse than the other in your mind, or not.
Sure. So if he knew, if they honestly believed in front of Congress, then that would be a lie. If he didn't believe that, then basically he was deceptive and he was misleading the committee. And in fact, the untruth would be with what you submitted to the court.
What do you want him to do?
Well, look, I think the Attorney General, his performance in front of our committee, not even withstanding this Rosen matter, I thought was dismal. He would not even answer basic questions about the whole AP subpoena issue, claimed he didn't remember when he recused himself, has no record, said the White House found out a day before in the press. So I think it's time for Mr. Holder to step aside. We need a new Attorney General, especially with all these matters that are now going to need investigation, from the IRS to the DOJ's treatment of reporters. I just don't think he's in a position where he can do that in a way that the American people expect.
Congressman, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.